Every day I can sit here and tell you that you left me at the hospital. They brutally raped me. They drained all my blood out. It hurt really bad. But it doesn't matter. No one's gonna believe me. There's no evidence. It's been 40 years. And I could sit here and tell people every day for 40 years that these doctors got away with raping me. And they are serial rapists. They are using children to make drugs, which they sell. They have this ritual that they torture children to get money, among other things, right? Control, power, everything. And until you do something about this, until you do something about these people that have gotten away with raping little children to make their little adrenochrome, to have their little satanic rituals so that they can feel like they're magically more powerful than everyone else around them because they got away with murder, it's going to continue. You're going to continue to fail in stopping these psychopath pedovores who serial rape children. They want the blood and the sex and the ritual and the drugs. They want it all. It's all wrapped up in one little cuddly ball of love just for them. And until you stop them, no one else is going to get as much cuddly love. It's being destroyed. You understand me? They're killing it repeatedly like a machine. Industrial rape of children. It goes far beyond their little, sex trafficking, teenagers. It goes far beyond COVID and injecting people with vaccines that do nothing but hurt you, make you simple. This is what they're doing. It's all part of the plan to get a hold of your pretty little children and rape the snot out of them. Leave them dead, a corpse that they've harvested for everything that they can get out of that corpse. They're very good at it. They will drain out all the blood and they will use every last drop to try to pour it over their soul to make themselves more powerful. They'll do everything they can to stop you from stopping them achieve their goal. And they're gonna keep doing it and keep doing it until you figure out what I'm talking about. You figure out what happened to me. You learn where they get the adrenochrome from and how they do it. This isn't just incest. This isn't just pedophilia. This is statutory murder. But to kill people, to harvest them, harvest their organs, harvest their blood, harvest their neurotransmitters, to use their bodies as a vessel. Like they do drugs across the border. They put the drugs, make you swallow the drugs. Well, they'll just put it in your bloodstream because you're not expected to live through the milking event where they drain all your blood out and you die. And to prove it to you, I'd have to put you through the experience. You'd have to get abducted by these doctors. You would have to get raped by the U.S. military in full fatigues while they're watching each other. It's like a big gangbang event. They gotta do it good, or they're gonna look foolish in front of their other soldiers, as if watching your fellow soldiers rape children. Where are all the soldiers that have watched other soldiers rape little children? Because I know you're out there, and I know you're covering it up, and you're making the U.S. military look bad. And guess what? You guys don't need any help. You can bring down this entire country. You can watch it happen, and I'm telling you what's going on, and it will happen just like that. And you won't believe me ever. You'll think that someone else is causing this. Some other reason. And I'm telling you, you let these people harvest children in torture, sexual, satanic practices that extenuate the pain and agony forever on these young individual lives, ending them in most cases, just so that you can get your next cigarette fix, just so that you can get your next crack hit, just so that you can get your next fentanyl dose. This is what they're doing, okay? This is what they use to keep themselves going so that they don't view themselves as meth addicts, even though they use amphetamines to keep going up on stage. They don't look at themselves as meth addicts, but they are. They just put the meth in the blood. They're just vampires then, right? They're not really meth addicts. These people are twisted. Twisted. They think what they're doing is good. They will look at you with a straight face and say stabbing that knife into the heart of that child was a good thing. And they will believe it. And they will smile, and you will never know the difference unless you can differentiate right and wrong. Because they don't. It's do what thou wilt. And thou wilt drink babies' blood and torture them to death, and then pump more blood on them, start their heart up electricity, and rape them to death again. And then keep doing that like 10 times over and over again. And they have people, they're just milking away in a dungeon somewhere. And no one's ever gonna find them. Because no one will believe me. And no one will do anything about it. And they're not gonna hunt down the doctors that worked at the VA hospital in Roseburg, Oregon in 1980 and question them about all the rape chairs and the babies missing and what's been going on there with all the military stuff. They've done nothing for 40 years. I would be insane to think that things would ever change. So you're letting people harvest your children in the most horrible satanic way. It's unnecessarily torturous. Do you understand me? They take it to an extreme. The more pain they can inflict, the more that they can get your neurotransmitters to pump better stuff for them to intake. They like the just before death release of drugs and neurotransmitters into your system. So they recreate that event in a child over and over again. We wake up and you're alive. And the last thing you remember happening was you being murdered over and over and over again. And they just do this to people unnecessarily so that they can get their kicks, so that they can get their rocks off, so that they can get power over you. Because if anybody saw you doing this, they probably wouldn't let you get away with it. But they do. They do. You have to understand they are getting away with it. Byrd and Biden and Hillary and all the doctors under Fauci, which is all of them, they're all getting away with murder on the most heinous scale you can possibly imagine. It's beyond imaginable how heinous these murders are, how they're just milking the tit of the brains of these children. They don't care about anything else. They will just turn your brain into like some kind of, just keep it alive in a bottle and have it milk out juice that they drink. You know, that's this level of sickness we're dealing here, and those people are still like, hopefully not conscious, right? But if you got blood going through your brain, you're kind of conscious. So they're experiencing things that you couldn't possibly imagine. They're experiencing death over and over again in the most satanic way, while they literally suck the blood from your veins with their own lips. This is what they did to me. Do you understand? Under military orders, under color of law, they did this to me when I was 2. And no one has ever believed me. They make reports to make it look like I'm crazy so that they can keep doing this to children. And no one's ever going to find out because I've already told everyone and they don't get it. They don't get it. You just don't get it. It's evil. These people are evil. You're letting evil run you. Evil is running this country into the ground. I've watched it happen for 40 years. It's going to happen for 40 more. So be prepared for what you're going to see. It's evil. Oh, keep laughing at all their jokes. And keep letting them legalize crimes and get away with murder and so many different launder money. Make your money's worthless. It's a joke. It's all a big joke. There's no leadership. There's no monetary. They're not printing money. I put them up to it and print some more money. They owe me an awful lot of money for covering up my rape as a 2-year-old child. Mr. Senator, Mr. Representative, Mr. Officer of the Law, Mr. Military Officer. This is what you're doing. This is what you're protecting. This is what all your training is going for, so that you can protect Satanists torturing children to death over and over again. I told you why. Do you need me to go over it again? Now I'm telling you exactly again what's happening, and you're not getting it. They just don't get it. I tell them over and over again. For 40 years, every day, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't change how they think. It doesn't matter to them.